Hello there, this is Daniele from Toolchefs and welcome to this new video. Today we're going to have a look at the sync module and two of its possible use cases. These are the most common use cases that you will find with the sync module. So the first one is going to be a horse rider setup and the second one is going to be a prop workflow. For this video we're going to use the Atoms agents that I've already loaded in this scene. So here we see we have all the agent types in the agent type tab and all the animation clips here. I'm gonna create a new agent type, which I'm gonna call Mixamo. I've downloaded a character from Mixamo, so I'm gonna use the same FBX for both the skin and the skeleton. This is its the character that I've downloaded. Here I'm gonna sanitize the joint names, and also I would like to set the hips as the pelvis. If you don't select a joint here for the pelvises or is not already configured on the skeleton, Atoms will always pick the root joint of the skeleton and set it as the pelvis. We don't have a horse with the Atoms agents, so we're going to use the dog, so at least you can follow this tutorial. Then I'm going to create a new agent clip. I'm going to call it ride, which is basically just a sitting clip that I've downloaded from Mixamo for that character. Here the direction is going to be static, and we're going to use the z-axis, because this character is pointing, this animation is pointing on the z-axis, like as you can see from here. I want to sanitize the joint names too, and select the compatible agent type, Mixamo. Here the looping is okay. The last and first pose of this animation are pretty much the same, so the looping should work fine. Maybe what you want to do there, maybe is just set the end to be, maybe 3 here, and here we can say 269, like this. Okay, so this is all that we have to do here for the clip. Now we can start creating our shot. So I'm gonna create an agent group where we're gonna create a dog. So I'm gonna say grid layout and animation state machine. For the agent type, I'm gonna use the Labrador, and the state machine, we're gonna use the state 1. Let me change the display type to skin. For this shot, let's also create a plane. So translation is gonna be 000. Scale maybe 500 and 500. Sorry, wrong one. There, 500. It's quite big, but anyway, this will do. So for the grid, let me go in the height field manager, select that grid, and now I can assign the grid to the height field to the state machine here. So now the dog is working on the grid. And finally, if we go in the grid layout, we can also change the size of the grid 4x4. Let me also change the spacing, so to 200 to 200, like this. And now what we can do is we can create another agent group. So if we go here, let me create a grid layout and select the Mixamo character so we can see the difference in size, because of course we want this guy to ride the dog, so the dog is a bit too small. What we can do is we can change the size of the agent type from here. So Labrador, here is already 2.5, maybe we can do 4. So if I rewind, that is still, yeah, okay, so it's a bit bigger, looks okay. So let me, so now we have the Mixamo character there. Let me also change the display type to skin. So the first thing, when you want to use the sync module, let me add it. So it's gonna be in animation, I think, yes, sync, is that you want to assign a parent agent group. So from the child agent group, which is this one, the one where we have the rider, we want to select the other agent group, which is gonna be this one over here. Now the character is not showing up because of course we have not set up an agent type for the sync. We also don't need the grid layout, so let's remove it. Here what we can do is we can also assign the clip already. And here is quite important to keep the clip reader on top of the stack as opposed to placing it after the sync module. This is because of how Atoms builds the internal graph of each agent. If you put it after the sync module, then Atoms won't be able to both play the animation played by the clip reader and also attach the agent on the horse or a dog, like in this case. For the clip reader, I'm going to select ride. Okay. And in the sync, I'm gonna say Mixamo. And now we have the character, already been placed in the scene. Here we see a bunch of warnings saying joint, something doesn't exist. This is because we have not provided a joint name here in the joint, both joint and also parent joint. So to do that, we're gonna fix that right now. So we go in the Atoms UI. So basically the joint is the joint that we want to constrain from the Mixamo character. So this is gonna be hips. So we can draw the joint names. You can select the joint, right click, then copy joint name, and then do that. We're gonna set it there, but we need also the parent joint there for the dog. So for this one, we're gonna use the root, and we're gonna put it there. Now don't look at what's happening here. We're gonna fix it straight away. Before we continue, I would like to spend a second just to point you to the tutorial that we have on the website. Here in the tutorial, we say that it would be best to always have a separate joint for attaching the rider, and this is because this separate joint can have its own separate motion. So maybe you won't see the character being too wobbly following maybe the route of the horse or whatever agent type you're using. So again, yeah, this is the recommended workflow. You can also put the joint where already you know that your agent is gonna be there. So again, yeah, that's the recommended workflow. So here, to fix what's going on here, so there are a few things going on. The first one is that the dog is passing its scale to the rider, which is not something that we want. So we are gonna remove the metadata from here. Now the agents are already, looking smaller, although they are not facing the right direction, as we can clearly see. So to fix that, we can change the rotation offset. If this is basically happening because the root of the joint that were selected here for the dogs have a different orientation than the joints that we have for the Mixamo character. So here maybe we can say 90 or maybe 100, 180, and then minus 90, something like this. Here you'll have to play with these values until you find the right orientation for your character. Then here we can provide a translation offset. We can use a world space translation offset because otherwise the offset works in local space. So here we can maybe say 20, maybe 30. Yeah, 30 looks okay. So if we go back and now we press play, we see that now the Mixamo characters are following the dogs, but we see they're a bit wobbly. So that's what I was. That is about what I was saying. About having a separate joint. You could actually lose all these, let's say, noise. Another thing that is quite important to know is that if you don't want all your characters, or if you want to randomize the agent type on that you're using for the rider, you can use the agent randomizer. One thing that you can do is, like, if you select the agents from the parent agent group. So if you go here and we say agent selection tool, we're gonna select these dogs here. So not actually, let me do this first. I'm gonna clear the selection, go back here on the rider. This one, I'm going to just for a second remove this because anyway I don't need it. Now I can select with the selection tool maybe these dogs, this dog 2, that dog 2. Then we can open the agent randomizer. We have to make sure that the other agent group is selected. So the agent group, the target agent group where we have the sync module. So this one. We're gonna move here Mixamo and click run. Okay. And by doing this, we see that we have randomized our selection here on the agent group that had the sync module for the selected horses or dogs in this case. In this way, of course, you can have like multiple agent types in that list, in the agent randomizer list. You can, of course, even do a second step later or reselect those dogs, or even you can select the rider directly. And again, we can go and open the agent randomizer, click Mixamo, run, and we have our riders there. So if now we press play, we have just the riders on those dogs. As you can see also here, we have a metadata list in the sync module. All these metadatas are being propagated from the parent agent to the child agent. So in this case, if we had like a state machine for the rider, and that was built to sort of like match the Labrador, the dog state machine, then by changing the state on the dog, we could also change the state on the rider, and then if you have again a matching animation, then you could actually drive the whole animation by just changing the state on the dog directly. And one last thing, one important feature of the sync module is that if you change the layout of the parent agent group, always those changes will be propagated to the child agent group. Okay, now let's have a look at the other example. Now let's have a look at a prop example. So we're gonna use the Atoms agents again. I've already loaded in the scene. For the prop, we're gonna use the flag, which is shipped by us in the Atoms agents. Here you can, in the man, we should select the man stadium state machine. This is because we want the, to play the swing animation and just attach the flags to all the agents playing the swing animation. And now we can go on the state machine tab, say man stadium state machine. So we see here that we have the man, so the swing flag is number 18, the stand is number 0, and the stand angry is number 2. So these are the three states that we're gonna use in this simulation. So we're gonna create a new agent group. For this agent group, let me create once again a grid layout. Not very original, I know, but anyway, an animation with a state machine, an animation module with a state machine. Here we are gonna say the size is gonna be maybe 5 by 5. The spacing is gonna be 200 and 200. Right, so we have it there. We can then say skin, and for the state, we're gonna click on that button twice. We're gonna add 3 states here, and then we're gonna say 0, 2, and 18. So what I've done there is basically, so this is a mode in which you can override your attributes here, your parameters. So what that means, single value, so you can just provide one value. You can always use the override dialog if you want, but this is just to have a bit more flexibility and quick randomization. Here you can provide a start and end range. And then with this mode you just provide a list. So here is 0, 2, and 18. So as we see here, some agents are playing the state 18, which means that they are swinging, and then we're gonna attach the flags just to those agents. So first of all, let's go and create a new agent group. For this agent group, I'm gonna use the sync module, which is under animation. Draw attribute, let's use skin. Here we want to select the agent group, the first agent group, so the agent group for the man. Then let's just add flag for now. So we see a flag for each agent group. Here we see again the warnings because we haven't specified the joint name. So we're gonna go in the Atoms UI and select the joint that we want to use. So in this case, for the flag is that guy over there. This joint has the same name of the joint of the man, so we can just copy the joint once and paste it twice. And as you can see now, because we have the animation for the joint just for the guys playing the swing animation, then all the other flags are just stuck on the floor. So what we want to do now, we can, so I'm gonna disable there, we're gonna remove the agent type there. I'm going to use the layout tool for using the search mode for selecting the agents with the state 18. So actually let's use metadata, say state here, and then here I'm gonna provide 1818. So in this way you can search agents by providing a metadata name and a value. So if you this is a range, so if the min and max value are the same, you are basically just saying I want value 18. In this way we should select all the agents with that with the state metadata set to 18. Now we can go back to the agent. So we are already on the agent group that has the flags. So if we go here and open the agent randomizer and say flag, this is gonna randomize the flags for the agents, and now all the agents having the swing animation are have the flags attached. Let's just make the animation a bit slower. And this is all for this video. Thanks for watching.